Hi, my name is Zach Caceras. This is Miriam. Miriam is a professional trash picker that I met in the Guatemala City Central landfill. And I want to share with you what Miriam can teach us about building better neighborhoods and better cities. This is Miriam with her daughter. They've both been victims of multiple counts of sexual abuse. Her daughter will not go to school. She's under constant threat. She's extorted regularly by organized crime and under constant threat of being killed for not paying what they extort. And yet, when I talked with Miriam in the middle of this very tragic conversation, she reaches into her jacket and she pulls out a smartphone, right? And this, of course, has now become a stereotype in international development, the trash picker with a smartphone. But I think many people actually, they don't quite see what this means on a deeper level. Specifically, what this indicates to me is the most interesting paradox of the 21st century, which is how is it that physical technologies are so advanced, they reach the very bottom of the economic pyramid, and yet social technologies are not. And by social technologies, I mean the rules, institutions, and systems that deliver the kinds of services that Miriam needs. These kinds of things are technologies. They are things that we engineer, we design, we evolve, we set to a purpose. They are not different. We've heard wonderful things about many very interesting physical technology projects today. Social technologies need that kind of attention. Why do social technologies not advance at the same pace? Well, because there aren't startups in them, essentially. Is a startup really about gadgets? No, it's not. Startups are really problem-solving tools. They're a way of getting a whole bunch of people on board to solve a problem, unifying their interest with the structure of the organization, getting lots of creative people to solve stuff. Okay, so where can we start to face this big divide? I think in our cities. Why? Cities are technologies. In the words of Wired editor Kevin Kelly, they're the biggest technologies we make. They're the original social network. They're not going away anytime soon. Their power is in the way they connect people. It's not in the buildings themselves. And cities are bundles of code. In fact, when new jurisdictions are incorporated in the US, cities will oftentimes quite literally download their code from websites like this. This is code for zoning and operations. Cities run Muni code, in other words. Now, where Miriam lives runs slum code. And there is such a thing as slum code. And if you go around the world and you look at slums, you'll be amazed to see how similar all of them look. It's because they are operating, in effect, a certain kind of, quiet operating system for how people build. This is how people who are poor, don't own their land, and need to live near centers of urban opportunity, this is how they build a neighborhood. And this is how Miriam builds a neighborhood. Slum code is remarkably resilient, it's remarkably productive. People are fighting here about the cost of housing in San Francisco, yet slum dwellers resolved this problem a long time ago. They design their houses so that you can just simply tack on another floor when the neighborhood needs to densify, right? Now, am I suggesting that we convert beautiful San Mateo into a slum? No, not at all. I'm simply suggesting we should pay attention to the way that people, entrepreneurial people who are in effect building minimum viable communities, how they build, and then ask if there's a way to bring that together with Muni code, with the better, formal, legal, nice ways in which we build cities. I think there is a way. The way to do that is to look at American cities that are blighted and abandoned, that have large amounts of now totally unoccupied municipal-owned land, and to convert those areas into startups. How do you do that? Well, you take, say, block-sized parcels, rather than keeping them subdivided and letting speculators buy them up, you unify the land under that parcel, you incorporate it as a joint stock corporation, as a startup, you put it under entrepreneurial management, you give everyone equity who needs to be on board, including the city, investors, whoever else, and you let the competition and cooperation between startup teams take place. I believe if this can be done, if cities take this seriously and they treat neighborhoods as venture opportunities, we can begin to bring the same kind of dynamic that has created this in physical technology, but to social technology as well. Thank you.